We are Steven and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I are here to talk about the problems we solve for certain seller types. If you've been listening to our show all week, we had a great interview with one of our members, Tiffany Carter, and she shared why she's successful, and we kind of made 4 or 5 shows out of it. Some of the real important topics I got out of the interview. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about her success, and I think she speaks for, in a lot of ways, our membership group. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I really do.
And maybe not just our membership group, but a lot of people who are out there, buying and selling land or real estate or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Don't worry, I have a lot more to say. I was just saving it for the show.
Oh, I'm not worried.
Okay, good. All right. Matthew wrote, so I got a mailer response last week, and a couple in X County agreed to sell me their 4 parcels of land,
Awesome.
15 acres total, for $35,000. Anticipated sale price is $80,000. During due diligence, everything checked out except for the land use. Under land use, one of them is marked down as residential waste. That's kind of funny. Then further down, it says the zoning is RR2.
Rural residential, 2 acres.
Minimum lot. And then the others are marked down as land using agricultural livestock grazing, but
Excellent.
it's also zone RR2.
Excellent.
So here's what the county database says. Let me keep going here.
You don't need to read this.
Okay. So basically wondering if this type of land is marketable. I spoke with the assessor, and she told me basically when they planned out the subdivision, it was given these were given these designations because they didn't know what to market as. I will send specifics to other members if you're interested. Thanks ahead of time. I was really hoping to get this first deal going.
And I actually answered this in Land Investors, which I don't usually do, and here's my answer.
Okay.
You need to price this deal. There's a lot of money in here. And I really appreciate him giving the economics. Buy for 35, sell for 80. You got to price this transaction as if that residential waste property is going to give you 0.
Right.
Do I think you're going to sell the residential waste property for probably really some good amount of money? Yeah, I do. I think that was old civic planning, let's just call it. And, unless it's underwater, which you can really tell on NeighborScoop, or there are a lot of different resources you can see what's going on, then I think you're going to be in great shape. The other thing that you can do is whatever property it's adjacent to, sell it with it. So you have extra land to do stuff on, but maybe it necessarily can't be built on. Mm-hmm. But that was the planning and zoning person was very helpful.
That was really nice to share that. And I believe that to be true.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff sometimes that I've talked to the county, and everybody's scratching their heads. I'm like, what is it? How does that make sense? They're like, yeah, I know. I just work here, though. I didn't get to pick it.
So I'd go back to the data set for that county. I'd go into DataTree, which you have a subscription to as a member, and I would look for that use. I would just search for any property that's got, I've never heard of this before, residential waste.
I agree.
All these assessors and these planning and zoning people, most of them are elected. And so they have terms, just like every politician, and they make these sweeping changes, and then they leave, and nobody's like, what the hell was that? And that's probably what's going on here.
True. Super true. Good question.
That's master's degree level stuff.
Yep.
I love it.
Really
And I love when it turns out okay.
Mm-hmm.
So please let us know how it goes, actually.
Totally.
Today's topic, problems we solve for certain seller types. This is the meat of the show. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Jill and I bought a bunch of large acreage in northern Arizona early on in our career together. And I think it was before, Jill was still, I use the word green, but she was never green. She just didn't have like a 10,000 property experience like I did. Mm-hmm. We got a deal in, and the person, the person on the deed was in a nursing home, and she was terminally ill. And the kids called and said, look, we got your offer, or it was either we got the offer or it was an offer from a lot of years ago. We really do. We accept. We want to sell the property. And so Jill went through the motions of, it wasn't her first deal by any stretch. Went through the motions of, they happened to be local, but buying this property, and we did. And we met them at a coffee shop, and the woman was just in tears. You remember this? You want to finish the story?
Is this the college one?
No.
Oh, this is a different
story
one.
with you.
This was a different, go ahead.
And so the woman and her son, I think, came to the coffee shop to sign all this stuff in person, which we never do.
Right.
I mean, we've maybe done this 5 times in our entire lives, maybe 3 actually. And she was just in tears the whole time. She's like, you solved like 10 problems for us. We didn't know what to do. My mom's in a nursing home. She's not going to live very long. We had to sell it. She has to sign this thing before she passes away. Otherwise, we got to deal with these lawyers, and it's not in an estate. And we just solved legal problems, some social problems for her, and everything else. So I have a lot of stories like this. Certainly not meeting in person, but a lot of thank you notes. We used to have a board in the office with all the thank you notes that we got from people saying, thank you for buying this property. We stopped paying the taxes or whatever. I just didn't think, we take it for granted about how much about real estate in our group we all know. And for a lot of people, they don't understand this stuff.
So here's the situation. Let me cue this up here, and then I have some other examples too that are really sweet. This, what happens is our offer letters go out, and there's a large percentage of people that either are in a situation or they file those letters away should there be a situation. And then something does happen. Somebody gets sick. Somebody passes on. Somebody loses a job. Something happens. And what's one of the first things that they want to get rid of stuff, right? We need to get rid of things we're not using to make money, or to get some money in. And this piece of land over here that we thought we're going to build a cabin on, that we still haven't done anything in 20 years, it's got to go. So they either have got our letter, or now they're digging for our letter. They're in some kind of cash crunch. They need this. So here we come, and we follow through. We give them a fair price. Everybody's happy, and we really do solve their problems. They're so excited, and we're good people. It's just a wonderful feeling. And so that was part of the things that we talked about at the end of the show with Tiffany on Monday, Tiffany Carter. It was so fun. Like, the love that we get. I feel so good about what I do, because I am not here to talk anybody into anything. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm not going to hound a guy 10 times until he accepts my offer, because I just won't go away. No, that's not it at all. I send out my offers. If you want to sell, great, call me. If you don't, that's fine. I don't mind. But there's just so many people that are like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I do want to sell this. I've been staring at this. My husband and I have been fighting about it for 6 months. Tax bill just showed up. I can't wait to get rid of this. I need the money, kind of thing. I've had people, they're so sweet. I've literally gotten hugs. I've been told, this just paid for my daughter's master's degree. That's the one I can think of with that one Starbucks signing that she came, and she was the sweetest woman and just said, thank you so much. I've got, hey, when you're in town, we're taking you to dinner, we're cooking you dinner, please, how can I pay you back, and I've been told, I hope you make a lot of money on this. I've actually been told this. It's not my thing. I don't even want to do it. I'm so happy right now that I don't have to list it with a realtor, try to do this or try to do that, wait 6 months, hope something's going to happen. I'm so happy to get the cash right now and just be done with it.
That's the personal side. On the corporate side, I got a call, this is before Jill, from a guy in Grants, New Mexico, who's developing some property downtown. It's a small town in New Mexico, on the northwestern part of the state. And he said, I'm developing this thing. I'm short of cash. I've got all this dirt that I bought. What do you say? I got your letter. What do you say? How's $150,000 sound? This is for like $2 million worth of property, which is what we sold it for. I said, Don, we can get it as fast. He had an escrow person because he's in the real estate business. She's like, she's got it all teed up, and we closed the deal in like 2 weeks. And I went off and made $1 million on it. Net. So, and he thanked me the whole time. He knew what he was worth. He just didn't have the time or the energy or the interest in maximizing the price. He was working on this, and he went off and finished the development. And I still talk to the guy, actually. You know, he stopped. I still talk to him because I'm like, hey, do you have any more land? And he says, if you call me again, I'm going to call the police. And by the way, thank you. No, that was the last conversation we had. He's just like, stop calling me. I don't have any more dirt. It was a great deal for us. That's why.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So if you do this right, there's not going to be a lot of conflict. If there's a lot of negotiation and a lot of back and forth with sellers and they're angry, just walk away. Just send out more mail. This doesn't have to be crazy.
That's it, because if you're doing this right, too, you don't have time for that. It's really kind of and that's how we operate. That's how I train my staff to operate. It's a quick, hey, here we are. We're good people. Are you in or are you out? And then all we got to do is agree on a price. That's it.
Right.
And there's times that we don't agree on a price. And I say, shucks, darn, that's more than I'm willing to spend. I wish you well. By the way, if you change your mind, let me know. I'll still be here, kind of thing. And a lot of those come back. It's so interesting. You're not here to beat people up. You're not here to, whatever. I really see it like that. And if you go about it like that, and you're, that's how you run your business, then you will enjoy this. It will be profitable. You will have a great time, and you will buy plenty of property from all the easy, wonderful people that you want.
Well said.
Thank you. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Join us tomorrow for another, next week actually, for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
I could talk for a long time about this subject.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
It's
I think I got my point across. It's just the stories sometimes are so many, I forget them. I can't remember. I'm like, you're so good at, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay.
You're so good at remembering properties. I remember situations, and even then, now I have so many, it's hard for me to recall them, which is a great problem to have.
I remember a lot of deals. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Some of them by APN. I don't remember anything I say on the show.
Oh.
I don't know why.
That's hilarious. That's funny. Do you remember what we did last weekend?
No.
Thank you. I have to think about that too. Oh, wait, I do. Dave's birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, I do remember that. Phew. You know what? And if it wasn't such a big event, I wouldn't remember. I'd have to really sit and think about it. So it's funny.
Fairly early on, I did a lot of nonprofit deals where some churches, local churches in Arizona, or let's just say religious organizations in Arizona, received over the years donations for, when it was in their will to donate a piece of property to XYZ religious organization. And so they ended up with a lot of property. And if you talk to a board on any church or a religious organization, they don't know. And they're not there for that. And it's not their fault. They just don't have any interest in it. And so they get an offer from me, and they're like, well, we could use $75,000 for 7 million acres. They didn't know what to do with it anyway. So, and they're calling and thanking us. And we're going to mention you for months at our Sunday sermon and all this stuff. So if you do it right, it doesn't have to be all this hate.
Mm-mm. And if you do, that's what I started to say. If you do it right, you're too busy too. You should not have time to negotiate. You need to quickly make decisions, find out if they're serious, they really want to sell, and get an escrow and move on to the next one.
Yep.
That's my goal, and that should be your goal too. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you find our content valuable, and we really appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please check out our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the type of content you're here for. Hitting the like button on your favorite episodes helps to support our channel's algorithm, engage your interest, or engage your interest in future shows.
We are Steven Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.